The men of Rohan have mustered their forces and are ready for battle this day. Hey, how's it going? My name is Jackie Fish and welcome back to another Rise of Mordor online battle. Today we have an absolutely massive one. We have a 4 vs 4 and this 4 vs 4 is a little bit special because I am actually playing in this one. I'm going to be commanding the Dwarves over in kind of the center left, and hopefully I'll be able to put down some hurt on my evil opponents. So yes, this is a very exciting 4 vs 4, and we are also using the Rise of Mordor sub mod, which adds in a ton more units to Rohan. Obviously the most recent update added in a handful of extra units for Rohan, kind of the start for Rise of Mordor, but there is also a pre-existing sub mod which does a really good job of adding in units. Like, these kind of infantry guys are amazing. I would not be like, I could even say that these guys were Rise of Mordor quality. It's really awesome. Obviously the modder, I'm pretty sure, just brought assets in from Attila. I don't think he made anything extra, but I mean, regardless of that, these guys look amazing, like the chainmail and the armor. So it's going to be, you know, this is a great mod if you're looking to kind of fill out the rest of the Rohan roster whilst the Rise of Mordor guys are working on adding in more and more units for them. So for the site, over on kind of my side of things, we have 2 forces of Erebor Dwarves, and then we have 2 Gondorian armies. So a nice little alliance between the men and the Dwarves today. Then over on the other side, I believe we have 2 Rohan forces, one on the far left flank and one on the one kind of in the center right hand side. Then we also have an army of Mordor orcs as well. So the Mordor Uruks and orcs are going to be advancing forward this day, which is kind of funny that they are, you know, teaming up with Rohan. And then we also have an army of Dale. So it's kind of like a Dale Rohan Mordor setup alliance, I guess, against a dwarf and men alliance. So it should be really, really fun. And as you can see, the battle is already kicking off. Something I really want to say, because we do actually, I know this is actually a pretty fun engagement right here, so I'll keep an eye on this. And then I'll show you guys one of the cool updates that the Dwarves have recently received in the latest patch. So this cavalry unit, some of the Rohan cavalry is going to be charging forward, and it's just going to go straight forward, trying to smash the lightly thinned ranks of the militia Gondorian units. Going to try and rip through them and get onto the archers, and this is kind of working. Obviously, this being a militia spear unit, it doesn't really have the ability to repel. However, I'm going to be moving over with my escort merchant cavalry, and I'm going to be trapping in the cavalry of Rohan. And obviously in these multiplayer battles we play with a max 4 cavalry rule, so you know, this is a very daring charge by the Rohan player, and you know, it might pay off. He's managed to break a large portion of the Gondor spear militia. If he can kill some of these archers, maybe it'll be worth it, but right now we've kind of blocked his retreat, and it's looking pretty good for us. So yeah, really quickly, all the elite units for the Dwarves now have this really awesome golden outline on their weapons. You can't really see it too well here, but when I zoom in you can see it. So now you can see this is all like golden, and the armor has like a golden tilt to it. Someone's obviously been sitting outside Barrock and you know, selling armor trims for, you know, a decent amount of money. The Dwarves have taken them up on that offer. So right now, I'm just kind of advancing my forces, getting my crossbows into range. The far left flank is about to erupt in combat right now, as we do have some of these escort merchants of the Dwarves charging in against the thin muster spears of Rohan. And as you can see, they're going to be able to rip through them very effectively. And I mean, that's the problem with these thin lines, is you can get quite easily punished. However, the cavalry is now going to be getting pinned down. I mean, even still, that unit of Rohan muster spears might actually end up breaking. But the Rohirrim are going to quickly move into action and look to get some nice little flanking maneuvers. We have some Dwarven warriors here who are not braced, and once again the cavalry is just going to rip them through. Luckily, the Dwarves are sturdy men and they can kind of hold their own, but holy crap, that was pretty insane. And now the cavalry is just going to fall back. The Dwarves did actually a great job at holding firm there. I'm also just going to go ahead and click a little bit of slow-mo again, because there's a lot going on right now. As you can see, there's kind of been like an anchored flank here, and the Dale Spearmen and also the forces of Rohan are kind of going to be encircling our Gondorian ally right now. I did also just kind of double charge this unit of Orc Rabble, which the player was using to kind of distract me, kind of scream for some of his other infantry and stuff. And I just decided, it's Orc Rabble, let's just smash it from both sides, and they'll just flee the battlefield, which is exactly what they did. They got the hell out of there. But it's going to prompt more of the Uruks to move up into the open field. Again, the Mordor faction is really coming together now. These orcs are looking better and better every single update, which is very awesome. A massive engagement right now as the Rohirrim and all the other infantry come flying around. Oh no, this unit of terrible axes has been completely enveloped, rear charged and hit by some of the Rohan horsemen as well. Man, these dwarves are going to be in a tricky situation now, but more of the escort merchant cavalry has also turned up. But, I mean, as you guys know, it's not exactly like the dwarves are known for their heavy cavalry. So I see this massive engagement over here, and I'm like, okay, maybe I need to start, at least committing some of my cavalry over to the left-hand side. As well as that, I really just want to get my infantry stuck in, because even though these are like heavily armored elite Uruks, or at least trained Uruks, I feel like if I just get my dwarfs into combat, I will, slowly break through the Mordor battle line. And you can see right now, I'm kind of forming up some more with the front line of Gondor. There's, again, some more cavalry charges on the right-hand side. Oh, wow. That's actually a really nice Dalian charge right there, which charged into the side of the Knights of the Silver Swan. That was a very, very nice cavalry charge on this extreme right-hand side. We also have more Knights of the Silver Swan about to charge in. You can always tell when it's my first recording of the day. You can always tell. And they're going to be charging in against the Dalian swordsmen. I mean, for the most part, it looks like the cavalry for Dale. Oh, there's also some Mordor cavalry. They look like they've got some of the Harad horsemen, the Lancers, which is actually nice to see that Mordor do have a cavalry unit for now until, like, maybe they add in trolls and stuff to kind of represent that. And now we go. The heavy infantry fighting is now going on in the center. I'm fighting both Rohan and I am fighting the Uruks of Mordor. And I've thrown in my general. It wouldn't be a good dwarven general if he didn't get stuck in. And mark my words, he gets stuck in this battle. So currently I'm going to be fighting the Uruks down the entire battle line, trying to push back their ranks. Obviously, these guys, the Grimhammers, are going to be doing lots of damage on the front line. My ally's flank as well. He's currently engaging the men of Rohan. And the Dwarven line is obviously going to be very strong. You can also see I've committed some of my cavalry over here. We're just really making sure to try our best to protect our crossbowmen, because the Erebor crossbowmen output a crazy amount of damage. So really my cavalry is just over here to screen for the crossbows, so that the crossbows can do some good damage. You can see all of my crossbows are just helping out. And now the front lines in the far right are now undergoing. The men of Rohan, the dismounted Oathmen, are going up against the Gondorian spear militia, and I can't imagine that they are going to fare too well in this engagement. You can see the banners being held tall though, and a pretty brutal artillery shot. Man, that was close for the men of Rohan, honestly. And right here you can see we're doing a bit of a switcheroo. I need my spear unit of Erebor, so I'm going to be switching over and letting the Fountain Guard take this position. However, the Mordor player is going to go ahead and try and challenge this. Luckily, we are here just in time for the Pikes of the Fountain Guard to be put down and cover this alleyway, so that my spearmen can move over to the left-hand side, because I kind of realised I just need more men over here. We're slowly breaking. Even though the front line is going down, there's still a lot of Rohan cavalry causing us issues. And moving on, the far right-hand side, you can see that the Dale swordsmen are just putting a lot of pressure on the front lines. They've got spearmen and swordsmen engaged in here against the Gondorians. The Gondorians looking very epic in the glinting sun. But the cavalry engagement, it looks like it's going ill. They've overloaded this flank with Mordor cavalry, Riders of Rohan, and also the Dalian horsemen. And that's going to be kind of detrimental to the Gondorian flank right now. The left-hand side is looking pretty good for us so far. We've managed to get some Gondorian Swan Knights through the gap, and they're going to be charging into these Uruk archers, which are going to be very useful to try and take down. It's kind of a disappointing charge, honestly. I guess I didn't have enough time to get up there. But that is going to be pretty useful for us. The front line is still going on. My general, if we take a look at his kills, has already killed 230, and he's still got a large portion of his unit left, which is pretty impressive, I would say. And unfortunately, the Knights of the Silver Swan just got shot to pieces. They really did. They broke through, which was nice, but that charge just wasn't devastating enough. And yeah, unfortunately, the Uruks managed to repel that assault. The far left-hand side is still kind of anyone's business. There was a really nice cavalry charge there by the Rohan player going through this kind of dysfunctioned battle. I'm going to try my best to get my cavalry back here to try and help out. And as you can see, all of our crossbows are now turning on to killing these Riddermark Lancers. That's kind of our main goal right now, is to try and remove the cavalry on this left-hand side. The front line, I would say, is going pretty decent for me. My general managed to break through there, and he just went sprinting. So really, at this point when he was fighting, he was getting shot to pieces by the Uruk bowmen. So I kind of saw this big gap appearing right here. I was like, oh, I could charge him a flank. Yes, I'd get enveloped by these Orc warriors, but they're only Orc warriors, so they're not that scary. And this would stop him from shooting my unit because he can't shoot through his own one. So I kind of used this big gap as a way to protect my general from archer fire, and also, you know, obviously to hit some of his units in the side. So it was actually really effective, and it was just kind of a very, you know, lucky gap that I managed to find. But for the most part, you can see I'm winning this infantry engagement very nicely. My general was now up to 340 kills in this battle. However, things do not go as well over on the right hand side. The Gondorian battle line is looking shaky, and I mean the elite heavily armored Rohan infantry. I mean, look at this, the dismounted Royal Guard. They look amazing. Like, if this was Rise of Mordor, I would think this unit passes for it. These guys look amazing, they really do. The modder has done such a great job. You know, like, if you just change up their shields to maybe look a bit more Rohan-esque, like, that'd just be absolutely perfect. The modder has done such a good job with this sub-mod. He really has. And, you know, the rest of the Gondorian battle line is just crumbling. It really is. I don't think there's any reserves. As you can see, a lot of the infantry for Gondor have been, like, brought back here. And there's just so much cavalry. You've got infantry, dally, and swordsmen making their way around the flank to go ahead and harass more of this position. The Gondorian battle line is starting to crumble. At least in the center right here. Unfortunately, the infantry just could not hold it, and as you can see, that is a huge rout now in the center. The militia and the imperial troops of Minas Tirith have just broken, and that's going to open up so many gaps, and all of a sudden Gondor is going to have to be fighting such a scrappy battle. Back on my side, you can see some of my axemen are starting to break as they're just getting overwhelmed by the Uruk numbers. I mean, as you can see at the beginning of this battle, this is a pretty huge ass battle. You know, 19,950 units in this battle. It's kind of crazy, but you can see how we were outnumbered pretty heavily at the beginning of the battle.
The men are broken and running for their lives.
You know, a good 3,000 men. We were outclassed or outnumbered, and there you go. My general has finally gone down in this battle. I mean, he still has a decent amount of units left in his, in his army, but as you can see, my general is now going down pretty quickly. I mean, he's racked up 450 kills so far, so you know he's done a great job. We have actually managed to win a pretty decisive victory on the far left flank, though. Unfortunately, though, it was due to them, pulling back kind of their last stand. And I really love it when players do this. This was such a cool engagement on this left-hand side because it was very back and forth. I was helping out, Mordor was helping out. And then, like, the battle kind of just disengaged when, Rohan decided, okay, the battle's going good for us over on the right-hand side. I don't need to fight to the death here. So he just decided to pull back the majority of his reserves left, kept them alive, kept his archers alive, kept some infantry alive, and that's going to obviously allow him to meet up with the rest of his army, and it's going to obviously force us to have to reform our battle line and go forward. So it's really cool when players don't just sit in one position and fight to the death. I really like it. It's just like different and cool, and I'm a big fan of it. I managed to break more and more of these units. However, I kind of feel like at this point, and maybe I should have paid a bit more attention to killing these archers. I kind of just tried to ignore the archers with my crossbows. And it's kind of coming back to hurt me now because they really are racking up a decent amount of kills. Saying that, they haven't actually got that many, so maybe it was a right decision to ignore these guys in this battle, because I've managed to actually break the front line of the orcs, and you can see I'm also doing a pretty good job over on this side. These orc warriors are soon to be broken from the field, and once they're gone, it's going to completely open up the the position to run forward. He is now bringing in his reserves, though, on my center. 3 units of elite Uruk Throng. So these guys have now been brought up, and they're obviously protecting the last couple reserves of the missiles. As well as that, I've now got the Uruks who are, I guess, going through this big gap that the Gondorians have left. This is so cool, seeing the Uruks just kind of coming around this flank now, as well as the Sons of Erebor pushing forward. Are these elite axes? I think they are, right? Yeah, once again from the sub mod. Really cool unit. They just look so good. It's so impressive. Like, I can't say that enough. Like, the sub mod is just killed it, really. But as you can see, the Uruks are coming around. All my crossbows are just like shooting them as much as possible, and we even have a last-ditch effort here by the Gondor sword militia to come in and try and hold them. The rest of the Gondorian battle line, so our far right Gondorian battle line are held. However, as you can see, they're going to be completely enveloped in the struggle. Oh, also, this is, I think, a new unit in this patch as well for Gondor. The Gondor River Guard, I think they're called. I can't see them. Where are they? The Prince Coast Guard. I think they're a new halberd unit, and they actually have some really cool looking halberds as well. Like, look at that, it's awesome. Like a falcon, you can't really see it. I'll pause it and I'll show you guys. It's got like a falcon wing. Obviously these are like swan, I should say, not falcon. They've got like a swan wing on their weapons. Obviously they're like a Dwarves unit. But yeah, now they are being enveloped. The Gondorians are going to fight to the last bravely, but I think they're not going to stand a chance really on that side. Now that the lines have been broken, and it is definitely looking like a losing battle. However, we do have a pretty big cavalry charge right here, and the Dwarven cavalry, crossbows, are going to be getting caught here by the Lancers of Erebor. It's going to be pretty brutal on that cavalry charge. The cavalry is going to now pull out, and all the crossbows are going to turn. It might have been a better idea just to try and leave the cavalry in, because if these crossbows get a rear shot off on that Royal Lancer unit, they are just done for, and I think they're going to? Oh no, they just get out, I think.
Our allies' general is dead.
Another general going down on our side. We've lost a ton. I think that was the central Gondorian forces. Yeah, you can see just the huge disarray in the battle line. This right flank has been completely crushed now, and the last Gondorians are in. Our left flank has won. My center is crumbling, so it's looking very ill for us today. However, all hope is not lost. My dwarves are still rallying, even though we are being surrounded now, and the rest of my positionings are being overwhelmed. We have kind of one bubble of resistance still left remaining. My general is about to go down. 9 men left in his unit, and he has racked up over 570 kills. What a general that was, and what a unit of Grimhammers, really coming in. So many kills on that unit. It wasn't just like it was like normal orc rabble that it killed. I think the majority of its kills came from orc throng as well, orc spear guards and stuff like that. So a very elite general. The dwarves are moving around this left hand side, but I feel like there's just too little of a force to really do much and turn the tides of this battle. We do have some cavalry, some Gondorian cavalry coming in here as well, charging in against the Uruk bowmen. Again, these bowmen are actually pretty decent in melee as well. They're not amazing, but they've got some decent armor on them. That cavalry is just going to try and rip through them. You can see how I've also managed to envelop another unit of spearmen, so that's another unit of Uruk spears being sent packing. So I'm pretty happy with that. I've routed another unit. There's 2 units of fresh Uruk throng right here. My crossbows are now getting overwhelmed by just archers who have run out of ammunition, as well as some of these archermen from Rohan as well. And there you go, one of our allies has been routed. I think both of our Gondorian allies have now been broken. And as you can see, a battle will definitely tell ill. Even though kind of our left flank won and I kind of held my own. Well, kind of held my own, but I did get overwhelmed in this battle, I would say, with numbers. I'm going to probably lose this even without the reinforcements of this. It's just going to kind of make it a little bit quicker in the center. So unfortunately, we managed to get a decisive victory on the left flank, but a crushing defeat on the right flank. And in the center, we kind of just got beaten back and then ended up being destroyed. Yeah, especially now that this cavalry can come around, the the Erebor Lancers. Oh, that's a brutal volley they just got there. I think my crossbows gave them hell there. Yeah, holy crap, this unit is being melted by my crossbows. Man, hopefully I can get 1 or 2 more volleys off. That'd be beautiful. You can see more infantry moving around just to surround my spearmen who have held bravely. I actually ended up as well taking a formation attack on these guys a little bit too late, realizing I was fighting archers. I should have taken a formation attack a lot sooner. But yeah, you can see right here, we've got cavalry, Rohan bodyguard moving in, smashing the Gondorian battle line. And that's going to basically be it for the battle. We can triple speed through the last of it, I think, as we just kind of see what happens towards the end of the battle. And by the way, guys, if you are enjoying these Rise of Mordor battles, I've been uploading Rise of Mordor quite a lot, obviously, with the most recent update. And if you guys want to keep on seeing these battles, be sure to drop a like and a comment down below. Obviously, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that bell notification. If you are subscribed, it is so important that you have that bell notification ticked. Otherwise, you just will never see my videos. You know, one day you might just forget, and then my videos will never appear in your feed ever again. So it's just really important that you go ahead and hit that bell notification if you are subscribed and you enjoy these Rise of Mordor battles. I've got a really cool 3-part battle going to be going on the channel sometime over the next week that's been sent in to me by the guys who played this battle. Obviously as well, whilst this battle is winding down, I want to give them a massive shout out as well for recording these battles, getting together, organizing them. It's really awesome, and I appreciate you guys so much. So yeah, let's just move towards the end of the battle now, because there's not really much to see besides the dwarves making one epic last stand. The dwarves are being broken by the enemy armies, and there we have it. The enemy have won, but it cost them dearly. Their dead litter the field as well. So GG indeed. Let's take a look at some of the kills. So first off, a massive shout out to my general. He got the most kills in this game, so pretty impressive for the Grimhammer unit. Over on Darling's side, obviously it's going to be his cavalry coming out on top. Mostly like it's probably going to be for most people. The infantry for the Gondorians, over 200 kills on that one. Yeah, it seems like Fox's cavalry just got a bit overrun by the weight. I think a lot of the enemy team put their cavalry on that left-hand side, and yeah, you can really see it did kind of show. Over on the other Dwarven side as well, we actually have a Dwarven Erebor Axe unit with 500 kills as well. That's pretty gnarly. Then if we take a look at Canary's forces, this was the person I was mainly fighting. His Uruk archers did actually rack up a decent amount of kills, so maybe I should have focused them down in the engagement. His infantry did kind of struggle, but a lot of these guys have over 100 kills, so all good. Smokey has some pretty nice kills on his dismounted Royal Guard. His actual overall cavalry didn't do that much damage, which is kind of surprising. TNZ's forces, his cavalry unit, 545 kills. That's goddamn disgusting. And then finally, Lolwat's army, you can see his Sons of Erebor, almost 200 kills. Some of his dismounted shield archers as well, getting over 200 kills, which is pretty goddamn decent. So if you guys enjoy this battle, as I said, be sure to drop a like and a comment, hit that bell notification, and I'll see you guys in the next one.